Hello everyone. So today we're going to be taking a look at the all-new 2017 Mazda MX-5 retractable fastback. Special thanks to McGinley Motors, Mazda, Land Rover, Peugeot and Volvo for allowing me to come down here and review this car for you guys today. For all contact information in regards to this dealership, please see the description box below. So in today's review, we'll be taking a look at the interior of the car. I'll explain how all the features work. We'll also start up, look at the engine, go over the performance data, take a look around the exterior. I'm also going to take the car on a detailed test drive. So we're going to start with the exterior of the car first. Now I should mention that the MX-5 is completely keyless, so I just leave the key in my pocket. I'll just show you guys how you start the car up. You got this black button here for locking and unlocking the doors. Okay, so to power on the MX-5, you got your typical engine start-stop button located there. Foot in the clutch, and hit it again, and it fires right up. So we'll put on the hazards, and we'll also turn on the headlights and the rear fog lamp. And also the front windows are not fully automatic, so you do have to keep your finger down. Okay, so with the MX-5 there are two trim levels to choose from, just a standard model and then there's the GT, which this car is. And the GT usually gives you black mirrors, and on the convertible you get black A-pillars and you get the gunmetal metallic alloy wheels that we have in this car. So the retractable fastback, or better known as the RF, is the latest model, and personally I really like it. I think it's a very good looking car. It looks sharp, it looks real sporty. So at the front it is quite wide, it does have quite a long front bonnet. And it has very small LED headlights. As you can see, they do look actually quite small in the front of this car when you bear in mind the width of it. But I do think it's a very sharp looking design. And as I said, it's got the 16-inch gunmetal metallic alloy wheels. The standard MX-5 wheels are just unpainted silver. It's got ventilated steel disc brakes in the front with saw discs in the rear. It also has a double wishbone front suspension with a multi-link setup in the rear. That looks quite nice coming around to the rear as well. Very nicely designed taillights. Also has rear parking sensors, and as you can probably see there, twin exhausts. And then the button to release the boot is located just here. As you can see, the boot lid itself doesn't have any carpeting or anything on it, so it's just left bare. And as you'd imagine, the boot in this car isn't exactly huge. It measures in at just 127 litres. So it's quite deep, but it's not very wide. But I can fit all my filming equipment back there, and as you can see, my tripod only just fits in this actual cutout itself. So to put down the roof in this car, you have to make sure the two front doors are closed. It doesn't really matter what you do with the windows, if you have them up or down. And then just down here you got this little button here, and it just gives you instructions on what way to push it, whether you want the roof up or down. And then on the LCD screen here on the left, it will give you instructions. It will tell you when the roof operation is complete. So I'm just going to set the camera up outside and we'll take a look at that now. Okay, so the roof went down there in just about 12 seconds. And as you can see, this car is actually a Targa, not a convertible. So obviously a Targa means that you get the coupe styling, but the top half there just lifts up and folds into the back. So this probably is the perfect MX-5. Now obviously this car weighs just a tiny bit more than the standard convertible, which has a manual folding fabric roof, and this of course you have a metal folding roof, so there's a tiny bit more weight added to the car. But it is quite a stunning looking little machine. This is of course the 4th generation MX-5, so this car has been around for quite some time now. I think it's been around since the mid to late 80s. But I certainly like the retractable fastback, and it's a good idea for Mazda to make this, because I know for a fact a lot of people who bought previous generation MX-5s that just had a convertible folding roof do tend to buy aftermarket metal canopies that they can remove whenever they wish. So to offer a retractable fastback like this is a pretty good idea. So let's go ahead and get back into the car, and I'll put the roof back up. We'll just turn off the lighting first. Sorry, fog lights are off. and I'll put up the windows. And I actually made a mistake earlier about the windows. They're automatic down only, but you have to hold your finger on the button to push them up. So just press the button here and the windows will drop just a tiny bit to allow the right amount of clearance. And you'll see this latch here will connect to the roof itself. And then the car beeps to let you know that it's finished. And as I said, a little thing comes up on the screen there. So the interior of the MX-5 is surprisingly just like the interior of any other Mazda. It's very simple and well laid out. The only thing you'll notice is this car doesn't actually have a glove box, but we'll get onto that in a few moments. So this car has the 3-spoke leather-wrapped sports multifunction steering wheel. And it also has, of course, the electric rack and pinion power assisted steering. You also got a little bit of decorative red stitching there. Very nicely designed wheel. You got all your standard audio controls and Bluetooth off to the left, along with cruise control off to the right. This car also has automatic rain sensing wipers, automatic headlights, and we've only got, what was it, 21 kilometers on the clock so far. This car actually just arrived at McGinley Motors yesterday. And then down here we got a couple of controls for the traction control, tire pressure, and the lane departure. And also the interior panels, as you can see here, are finished in the exterior color. Now that is a very nice idea, and there's not too much red in here. They only do the door cards in red, as you can see. So they could have easily overdone it by, slapping red all over the dash, but they didn't. The only other bits of red you'll find, of course, are the stitching. And like the rest of the Mazda range, you got this very nice intuitive screen here. It's actually a touchscreen unit, but I think majority of people will prefer to use the controls located down here. So you got your shortcuts here for the music, home button, and the satellite navigation, which this car is not fitted with. It's a €650 option. And then you got your return button and your volume control. So sound quality is pretty good, but it's a nice system and very simple to use, and I'm very familiar with this. In the home menu, you got your entertainment, applications, communication for your phone, navigation, and settings. And everything is just very nice and simple to use in the little MX-5. It's a very driver focused car, and the infotainment screen is very pleasant. And if I just click the wheel to the right, I can go through these other menus as well. And into the entertainment, you can just navigate through your radio stations and your different frequencies and so on. So it's a very nice system, very simple and easy to use. And below you got your automatic air conditioning. And one thing I will say is all the controls in this car have a nice quality feel to them. As you can see here, it's just a very nice silver finish on all these dials, and the same down here in the center console. And of course you got the engine start stop button. But one place that the quality is lacking is actually in the upper half of the car. As you can see, these sun visors are plastic. I mean, they do feel kind of cheap and flimsy. They look like they might have been 3D printed or something. But yeah, it's the only area of the car that lets it down. They are quite plasticky and scratchy. You also got an auto-dimming interior mirror, and this car also comes standard with the 3-stage heated front seats. You also got 2 USB jacks, an auxiliary import, and a little bit of storage there with rubber padding, so your mobile phone or accessories doesn't move around the car. You also got these little cup holders. You got one here, and you got another one here, and you also got small storage bin, but you can fit a few things back there. And you also have a CD player back here, as well as a little bit of extra storage. And speaking of storage areas, this car really does make up for not having a glove box, because not only do you have the little storage compartments in the center console, you got the tiniest of storage compartments I've ever seen in my entire life on the doors. There's nothing down here. You got this absolutely microscopic little thing down there. I couldn't even fit my iPhone in there. Well, maybe standing up, but it's absolutely ridiculously small. But there is one more storage compartment I want to show you. So if I just pull this handle here, seat goes forward, and if I just pull out this compartment, there we go, that just pops out there. And you got another storage area located behind the driver's seat, and it is actually quite deep. You could fit a few items in there, so that makes up for not having a glove box. The MX-5 also has a Bose sound system, so when you're driving along with the roof down, if you want to make sure you can still hear the radio fine, you got speakers, as you can see, integrated into the headrests, and this is of course a one-piece seat as well. And you got the Bose logo on that side there, and of course it's the same on the passenger side. And the bonnet release is located on the driver's side footwell. The engine is a 1.5 litre Skyactiv G. It produces 129 brake horsepower with a top speed of 126 miles per hour. It also puts out 111 foot-pounds of torque, and it's estimated this car can do about 46 miles to the gallon. Alright, so for the test drive we're going to put the roof down. Now, I should mention I'm going to be keeping the windows up during the test drive because I'm afraid the wind might interfere with the external microphone here, because it has done before when I tried to drive a Subaru Impreza WRX actually with the driver's side window down. And I'm also afraid that this little sock that I use here, sometimes that is very easy, or sorry, that can fall off sometimes very easily. The wind could easily just grab it and throw it back in the street. So, fire it up and let's get started. Okay, so heading out to the dual carriageway and let's see what the little MX-5 is capable of. So, playing from third gear. It makes a nice sound. Very nice exhaust sound from this car. So it pulls relatively strong. Obviously this is not the most powerful MX-5 you can get. There is a 2 litre which produces 157 horsepower, but in this 1.5 got 129 horsepower. But the MX-5 was never actually designed to be a high performance car. It was designed to be an affordable, open top, easy to drive, easy to run little sports car. That's the whole point of the MX-5. So I don't really care that it's not that powerful, and I don't really care that even the 2 litre model doesn't have as much power as a Toyota GT86. This is a very nice, cool looking way of getting around. That's the way I see it, and I think the 4th generation MX-5 is a very sharp and good looking car, very cool, modern, sporty styling. And with the roof down, especially on this retractable fastback, it's so nice to drive. Now obviously there is a good bit of wind noise getting in here, but I'm slouched down a wee bit so the wind isn't really hitting me too much. But it's a good thing I have the windows up, because if I didn't there would be a lot of wind noise coming in here and it probably would be very unpleasant. But out here I have to say, well, this is the first time I've ever driven an open top car like this, so yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. Hopefully the weather stays on my side for a short while. It was raining a lot yesterday and it's kind of starting to drizzle a wee bit at the moment, but hopefully it hangs back for a little while. Okay, so let's see about this acceleration again. This time we're going to pull from second, straighten up. It makes a nice noise anyway, I'll say that much. But you do have to rev this car quite hard, and I revved it to about 6,000 RPM there, and it was only at that point I was really getting the full soundtrack. But I must say, I love the little MX-5. I mean, this is a very cool looking little car, and the interior is such a lovely place to be. I mean, it's just like any other Mazda in here. Everything apart from them sun visors is proper quality stuff. You've got nice leather on the steering wheel, lovely comfortable leather sport seats, and you got a lot of little storage compartments. Even though this car doesn't actually have the main glove box located down there, you got storage compartments here, in the center and behind your driver's seat. So you know, it's decent enough if you want to carry a few items around with you. And the boot, as I say, it's not particularly big, but it is deep, so you can carry a few items in there as well. But so far so good with the little MX-5, and even though this car has quite a long front end, I can actually see where I'm going just fine, and I got a rear window located right behind me, so thankfully in this car you don't really need a reversing camera if you want to park, but you do get sensors as standard. And speaking of things you get as €35,000. And if you were to get the 2-litre MX-5 RF GT, it would still cost just below 40 grand, and you get so much. I mean, you get lovely leather wrap multifunction steering wheel, you got automatic air conditioning, Bluetooth, a very nice infotainment system, heated seats, Bose sound system with the speakers and the headrest, which is a very clever idea. So it's a very well packed and very well equipped little car. A little bit of wheel spin. Alright, so let's go over some of these bumpier bits and see what it's like. Well, we're on a bumpy enough part at the moment, and let's just see what the suspension is like. Okay, so it's not too bad. I mean, yeah, the ride is a little on the firm side because obviously this is designed to be a sporty car, but let's go around this left-hander here and see how it handles. It's quite good. Suspension feels very flat. Very little in the line of body roll in this car. But it's quite comfy out here in these back roads, actually. Much more comfortable than I was expecting. It doesn't really bounce around or shake too much. So yeah, ride quality. Definitely quite good. One thing I will say about the MX-5 is I noticed when the car's sitting on idle, the gear lever and the interior mirror do tend to vibrate quite a bit. Well, more so the gear lever than the interior mirror. That's just one little comment I will make on this car. Back trying to step out on me there. So we're going to head back towards McGinley Motors now, and I'll summarise this car. It's a fun wee car, I will say that much. Alright, so overall, what do I think of the MX-5? Well, this 1.5-litre engine is pretty good, and it does work very well with the car. I actually had a friend ask me the other day, why would you buy the 1.5 over the 2-litre? I suppose you could put it down to maybe cost. Maybe you could really only afford the 1.5, I guess. You do get an open differential with the 1.5-litre. The 2-litre comes with a limited slip differential, so it'll be a bit more fun if you're all about track days. But I must say, even the 1.5 is very good in this car. I mean, it pulls relatively strong. You don't get much in the way of torque, but when you do put your foot down and get it high up in the rev band, this car certainly does make a move. But I must say, I do like it overall. I think it's a very good looking and stylish little car. A lot of people will debate on the internet whether or not the MX-5 is a real sports car and all that. I think it is a real sports car. I mean, look at it, for God's sakes. It's designed to be cool and sporty, and it's also affordable. I mean, as I said, this particular one, with quite a lot of equipment in it, to be fair, it costs about €35,000, and the road tax is €390. And to be fair, the 1.5-litre petrol engine is going to return fairly decent fuel economy, and it's not like other sports cars of this type where it's, you know, going to be mostly thirsty. I reckon you could easily daily drive an MX-5, no problem at all. Maybe if you're going to be carrying a lot of stuff around, maybe not, but certainly be a fun second car. Now, I have driven this car with the roof up, and I must say, with the roof up, it's just like a two-door coupe. It's, you know, it's very quiet and silent and quiet, it's very quiet and easy to drive and very pleasant. But with the roof down, especially on a sunny day, which I don't really have, I got a very cloudy, overcast day, it is a fun, enjoyable experience. But overall, it is a cracking little car, and it's really great bang for your buck. And you know it's not going to fall apart after a month because it's made by the Japanese, and they certainly know how to screw a car together. So it's a good quality little car. It's a fun car to drive. It's rear wheel drive, so if you want to hang the ass out when you're doing a track day with this thing, you certainly can, especially if you get the 2-litre with the limited slip differential. But yeah, you guys know what I think of this car. I think it's great. I really enjoy driving it, and that's pretty much everything I have to say. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video.